Today we're going to work on activity 1.2.3 and I'm going to do several parts. So let's get started. I'm in my Onshape. We're going to go into our Unit 1 folder. We're going to hit select Create Document. I'm going to give it a good name as always. So on 1.2.3, I'm going to call this Part 1. Let's hit OK. And Onshape will open up for us. We'll turn off the planes that we don't need. So the top and the right plane, we will turn them off. So let's start with a new sketch. So we're going to go to Sketch, click our front plane, and let's click our front box right here so we can see what's going on. I'm going to start off with a rectangle as always. I'm always going to start at my origin. I'm going to bring it up and away. And when I look at my front view of my drawing, we see that we have several dimensions on there. So my overall height is 3.5. So let's click in here, 3.5. And actually I can get the width of my part if I look at the top view, and that is 2 inches. So let's bring this down and do that right there. I'm going to go into my isometric view so we can see what's happening. We're going to finish this sketch. I'm going to turn off my front plane because I don't need it anymore. We'll go to Extrude right up here next to Sketch. We'll click on that box we just made. And of course, we always want to bring our first extrusion backwards. If I look at the right side view of my drawing, it says that I go back 2 inches. So let's type in 2 and make that go back 2. So there's my first extrusion. Okay, we're going to do this using subtractive methods. So next I'm going to go on my front view right here. I'm going to do a new sketch so I can actually just right click and come down here to new sketch. Puts a new sketch right on the front, and then you can see my sketch plane pop up. I'm going to go to my view cube and I'm going to select my front face and flip it right at me. Now this one has a slanted surface in there. So I'm just going to go up to a line command. I'm going to start right at the top line here, and I'm just going to drag a line down to here. I'm going to hit escape to get out of my line command. Now, if I look carefully on my drawing, it shows that I have a dimension from the end point of that line to the end point of my cube. And that dimension is 0.25. So I'm going to plop that in right there. It also shows that I have a dimension from the other end point of that line down to the bottom corner, and that dimension is 1.25. Okay. So to finish off this shape, I'm going to go back to my line tool. I'm going to click on that corner. I'm going to come to the corner here, click, and then I'm going to come down and finish it off. So I have that triangle shape that I just enclosed. Okay. So now that I have an enclosed shape, I'm going to finish my sketch, hit the green check mark. Let's go back into our isometric mode so we can see what's going on. If we go to extrude, I can now grab that triangle shape. And I'm going to bring that backwards. I'm going to go over to my little window here. I'm going to make sure that I hit remove. Okay, so you can see that I'm going to cut out that part. So I'm subtracting it out. There's my slanted feature. The next thing is I have a notch cut right in here. So I'm going to do is up on this little flat piece right here. I'm going to right click and do a new sketch. And I'm going to come over to my view cube. And I'm going to flip the top right at me, and we'll zoom out a little bit so you can see what's going on. Well, this one, I don't have to be really specific. I'm just going to cut out a notch in this bottom right-hand corner. So I'm just going to make a box, and I'm going to open it like this. Yep, it's overlapping. I really don't care because I'm going to be able to give it some dimensions. So let's go to our dimension tool. And I'm going to go from the left line of that box I just drew to this little edge right there. And that's 0.25. 0.25. Okay, so just pushed it out a little bit. I'm going to drag my box, make it just a little bit smaller. I'm going to hit escape to get out of my dimension tool. The next thing is I need to know how big this box is. So if I go here, grab my dimension tool, I know that this is 1 inch notch that I'm cutting out. So I'm going to grab the top of my box. I'll grab that bottom line, and I know that has to be 1 inch. Okay, so I'm just going to cut out everything within that box. So I'm going to hit my little green check mark, get out of sketch mode. As always, I'm going to go into isometric so I can see what's happening. There's my box. I'm going to go to extrude. I'm going to grab that box. And now I'm going to bring it all the way down through my part. And then I'm going to hit remove. Hit my green check mark. And there is part 1 of activity 1.2.3.